Am I overreacting for leaving my sister's wedding early after she made a joke about my job in her speech? I, 18 male, just graduated from high school, and I have been working part-time as a busser at a restaurant. It is not a glamorous job, but it's super chill. And honestly, I kind of love it. I'm saving money for school, I get along with my coworkers, it's honest work. I guess my family likes to tease me about it sometimes, but whatever. My older sister, 25 female, got married over the weekend. During her reception speech, she did this whole thing thanking everyone. Then she looks at me and says, "And thanks to my name for leaving the dishes behind to bless us with his presence." Everyone laughed. I didn't. I was mortified. It was so embarrassing, and I should tell everyone was looking at me, especially all of her friends and my whole extended, loud family. I have been insecure enough about not having a real job yet compared to my cousins, etc. I tried to brush it off, but my parents kept teasing me about it at dinner. I don't know. It just felt like the whole wedding was ruined for me. After about 30 minutes, I quietly got up and left and went home. I did not make a scene or a fuss. Now my sister is upset, saying I ruined her wedding by storming off early and that it was just a joke. My parents are upset as well, saying I embarrassed her by being sensitive. But my friends are saying she was out of line and I was absolutely in the right to get angry. So, am I overreacting for walking out on my sister's wedding? Am I the buttface for wanting more comfort from a friend than "I don't hate you"? Fully admit, years of childhood abuse has left me a damaged adult. Huge chance I am wrong here, so don't be afraid to call that out. I am super hurt though, because I was talking to one of my closest friends recently about feeling extreme sadness. I feel I don't have a place in this world or bring benefit to anyone's life. All he said was basically, "Deep down, you know that isn't true. If I hated you, I wouldn't be here." He never says anything positive of me and never initiates. I know he's an introvert, so I try to understand. So it has me feeling low. I told him I'm unsure if I matter because no one ever tells me good things of myself. After that, he sounded off on me, and he seemed annoyed, angry. But I sat there and let him get all his anger out before crying and leaving. Am I the buttface? His comfort did not instill confidence I am a positive part of anyone's life.
Am I the asshole for telling my parents I will not be helping them with their rent? I, 18 female, moved out of my parents' house a little while ago as soon as I could. To provide some context, my parents were both emotionally abusive and have wronged me many times in my life, including threatening to get rid of my dog. Since I moved out, I've been working a job and paying rent for an apartment I share with my friend and have had enough money left to save up a bit to go to college in a few years. I am the youngest in the family, so after I moved out, no one was left at home. Both my siblings moved out as well. So, their financial support from my brother paying them rent for his bedroom has been cut off. I am completely independent and have told my parents multiple times that I want nothing to do with them and even blocked their numbers completely. Earlier this week, my grandmother called me and explained that my parents desperately need money for rent and asked if I could spare money from my college savings, which I saved up on my own so far, to help them. I outright refused and told my grandmother I would not be helping at all, since every penny in my savings is gathered by me working hard and supporting myself. I love my grandmother and told her that if she needed help herself, I was willing to help but would not help with my parents. For this entire week, my aunt has been calling me repeatedly saying my parents really needed this and deserved it for raising me. My mom's side of the family threatened to cut me off if I didn't help, which is honestly so petty because I'm only 18 years old, they should be helping instead. I told my friend about it, and she said that I was taking it too far and I should have helped. Now I'm wondering if I am the asshole. Am I the asshole for refusing to give my brother-in-law a free massage even though I own a massage studio? So, I basically run my own little massage therapy business. I rent a comfy studio, have regular clients, and honestly, I work really hard to keep the business moving. It's my full-time job, not just a side hustle, and it pays my bills. This weekend, my sister and her husband came over for dinner. At some point, my brother-in-law casually asked, "Man, I've been so sore lately. Can you just give me a quick massage while we're here?" I kind of laughed it off and said, "That's what I do all week. You can book a session with me if you want, though." He looked offended and said he thought families should get freebies. My sister chimed in and said, "Yeah, come on, you can't just do a 20 minutes back rub for him. It won't cost you anything." I told them it does cost me time, energy, and the skills I spent years training for. If I start giving away free massages every time someone in the family feels sore, I'd basically be working for free half the time. They got kind of grumpy about it and said I was being stingy, that it's just a massage and I should want to help family. Now I'm feeling weird because I don't want to be selfish, but I also don't think it's fair to expect me to work for free just because I own the business. Am I the asshole for not giving my brother-in-law a free massage?
Would I be the asshole if I insist my stepson be allowed to eat meat? Here's the thing. My wife and I were both single parents when we got married. She is a vegetarian and was raising her kids as vegetarians. My oldest, shortly after the wedding, decided he also wanted to be a vegetarian. Fine. The vegetarian food is already being bought and prepared, so if that's what he wants to do, it's no skin off my nose. Well, a few days ago, my wife's oldest son decides that he is sick of being a vegetarian. He wants to eat meat. My wife did not have the same laid-back reaction I did when my son stopped eating meat. She categorically forbade him to eat meat. She said after all these years, his body won't be able to handle it anyway. I said we could start him out on chicken stock and see how he reacts to that, and she was pissed. We ended up arguing, and she told me under no circumstances are her kids eating meat and to stay out of it. I said, why was it okay for my son to stop eating meat, but not okay for her son to start? She said that's different. I said, oh, because your lifestyle is morally correct and mine isn't? She said, I was being an ass. My stepson still really wants to eat meat. The smart part of me wants to be quiet, and the stubborn part wants to support him. Would I be an ass if I refused to drop this?
My husband started taking evening runs with a woman he met at our kids' daycare. I think this crosses boundaries. Am I overreacting? My 28 female husband, 30 male, and I have been together for 6 years, married for 4. I've been hurt by cheating in past relationships, so I'm probably more sensitive to situations that feel questionable. My husband decided to get serious about fitness this year and started running every evening around our neighborhood. He's really dedicated to it, goes out every single day around 7 p.m. after dinner. I prefer morning yoga classes, so this has become his routine. Over the past few months, he's mentioned running into other people from the neighborhood and striking up conversations. There's one woman in particular, recently divorced, maybe 5 years younger, who he started running with regularly. Apparently, they met when both were picking up kids from the same daycare and realized they live nearby and have similar running paces. Last Tuesday, he came home later than usual from his run and mentioned he'd stopped for smoothies with a friend at that juice bar on Main Street. When I asked which friend, he seemed to hesitate before admitting it was the divorced mom from his running group. He insisted it was totally innocent, just 2 parents grabbing post-workout drinks and talking about training for the upcoming 5K. He swore nothing weird happened and that I know he's not like that. Our marriage has been really good overall, even when we've had stressful periods with work and parenting a toddler. My husband has never given me real reasons not to trust him in 6 years. But this whole situation makes me uncomfortable. A recently divorced woman, daily evening runs together, stopping for drinks afterwards, the hesitation when I asked about it. What does everyone think? Am I being paranoid? Or should I be concerned about these boundaries? Would I be the asshole for reporting a male nurse who is making me uncomfortable? I, 27 female, have been in the hospital for a few days. There is a nurse, 20s male, I've had during the day who keeps flirting. We are from the same ethnicity, and he only speaks to me in our native language. I assume so people around can't understand. The first time we met, he asked if I was married. I said no. He asked about a boyfriend. I said no to that as well. He then said, wow, how you are so beautiful yet single. I just laughed it off, but I felt uncomfortable about it. My family came to see me, and the nurse introduced himself, and they liked him because he could communicate with them. My parents don't speak English well. My parents made a joke about setting us up together. He was like, I would love to be set up with your pretty girl. And my parents laughed. Earlier today, he said, it looks like you will be discharged soon. Can I have your number? I want to take you out on a date once you're out of here. I'm approved by your parents. I said sorry, but I am not interested. Then he was like, come on, give me a chance. Don't be like that. He kept pushing, and I just said, okay, I'll think about it as a way to get him to leave me alone. I've been feeling uncomfortable my whole hospital stay, but I don't want to cause job loss, especially in this economy. Should I report him for this? Am I overreacting? Boyfriend told me not to post my graduation pics or don't come home tonight. I, 24 female, graduated last weekend and wore a fitted midi dress. Not short, no cleavage. It was a big deal for me. First in my family to graduate, lots of photos with my parents and friends. My boyfriend, 27 male, was there and super sweet all day. On the way home, he asked to see the photos I was going to post, and then said he doesn't want me posting them because it looks thirsty and invites attention. I laughed, thinking he was joking, but he doubled down and said if I post those, I shouldn't come back to our place that night. Literally an ultimatum over my graduation pics. He framed it as respect, and that his coworkers' family follow me, and it reflects on him. I ended up not posting and stayed at my mom's because I was upset and honestly embarrassed. He texted later like, glad you respected our relationship. Then the next day asked me to delete some old vacation photos too. For context, he's made little comments before, like my makeup being a lot and not loving certain tops, but never an explicit do this or else. He's not a monster. He's been really good to me in other ways. But I can't shake this. It feels controlling, and I'm worried it's a preview of what's next. Am I overreacting for considering breaking up over this one incident? Is this the kind of boundary you compromise on, or a line in the sand? How do you all handle social media boundaries in relationships without it turning into control? I'd really appreciate honest takes and what you'd say or do in my shoes. I'm definitely open to hearing if I'm blowing it out of proportion too. Would I be the buttface if I didn't tell my ex I'm going on a date soon? I'm gonna try to make this short, but damn, there's a lot of history here. I, 23 female, recently reconnected with my ex, 23 male. To make a long and arduous story short, he broke my heart a few years ago, and we didn't speak again until a week ago. We semi-agreed on a thing where we're just friends with benefits, and we did the deed once, but I told him afterward that I couldn't continue for now because my feelings for him were just too confusing. It's kinda hard accepting that an ex who broke your heart comes back after almost 3 years and just wants sex, you know? just couldn't deal with it for now, but left the possibility of intimacy open for the future. Anyways, I got asked out on a date today by another guy. I genuinely want to go on the date, but I'm wary of how my ex will react if I tell him. On one hand, despite my ex saying he didn't want anything long-term with me, I'd feel bad just not telling him. But on the other hand, if my ex doesn't want anything more than my body, why should I care? I should be able to go out and have fun with someone who actually wants something more. EDK, I just have this nagging feeling that I should tell him, but logically it doesn't make sense. I think the part that's making me second guess is that my ex hasn't told me if he has actual feelings for me or not, and I'm pretty sure he does. But again, he doesn't want anything long-term, so why should that even matter? It's not like he cared about my feelings for him back when he broke my heart. So, would I be the butt face if I didn't tell my ex about this?
Am I overreacting? I stepped in when I saw a man assaulting a woman in public. My girlfriend thought it was dangerous and wasn't my place. Yesterday afternoon, when walking our dogs, my girlfriend and I witnessed a couple arguing in a pickup truck across the street. The man was absolutely berating the woman passenger and was slapping her violently. I then gave my leash to my girlfriend, and I crossed the road and told the man to immediately stop and basically yelled at him to cut it off. It led to me and him arguing and him veering away in his loud pickup truck. I returned to my girlfriend, and she was mad at me because she said, "What if that man had a gun or decided to run you over? You jeopardized your life over a stranger's interaction. You should have just called the police and walked away." I told her that I had to immediately step in and prevent any further abuse, and that I vehemently am against domestic violence against women. She understood, but she was mad at me that it isn't my place to step in and that I wasn't suited to handle the situation, and that it could have gotten me killed. We do live in a city with a gun issue. I was kind of frustrated that my girlfriend basically told me off for trying to help a civic issue. Am I overreacting? Am I the asshole, laughing out loud when my wife said the song Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters was demonic? So, my wife just got home from church and her church group and immediately said our kids should no longer be singing this song or watching K-pop Demon Hunters saying someone in the group said it is demonic. I just laughed because that is outrageous. Wouldn't the song be more in line with Rumi facing her demons and seeing the light? Heck, if I wanted to turn it into belief, golden or the light could signify God. I'm still eye-rolling as I type this. I'm not religious, and I encourage my kids to make their own choice, but come on. Now she's upset and mad. I laughed at her comment and said it was ridiculous. Am I the asshole?
Am I overreacting? My 28 female boyfriend, 35 male, told me I need to maintain my body because he's a high-value man. I recently moved into my boyfriend's apartment, about 2 weeks ago, and since then, I've been seeing a darker side of his personality. He has started telling me what clothes to wear, how I should style my hair, and he discourages me from going out on my own. He's also been pushing me to cut off some of my friends. Last night, he told me that I should stop eating dinner altogether because, in his words, I'm a high-value man, so I can be picky with women. For context, he earns a decent salary, but he's far from being rich or millionaire. Nothing about my weight or physique has changed since we met. I've always had an athletic build, just about 15 lobes over the ideal BMI, and he constantly used to call me sexy and beautiful. This shift feels sudden and confusing. He invited me to move in rent-free. I still work and pay all my own bills, so I don't depend on him financially. I've been with him for 8 months, and this side of him didn't show up until I moved in. I feel conflicted and just need to hear other perspectives.
Would I be the asshole to lock my roommates out of my bedroom from their religious ceremonies? I, 18 male, am a college student renting a room. It's one room in the basement of a townhouse, and the family I live with, parents early 30s with a 1-year-old, also own the house. They are nice enough people, but I generally like to keep to myself, so I don't tend to interact with them very much, and most of our communication is done through a group chat with the 3 of us. Earlier this week, I texted them about something unrelated, and at the end of the conversation, they informed me that they are going to have a priest over on the 13th to bless the house, and that they will be opening all of the doors in the house to do so. I didn't respond to the text because I wasn't really sure what to say. I don't care that they're going to be blessing the house, but I don't want them going into my bedroom to do it. That also happens to be my birthday weekend. I'm not technically 18 yet, so part of me just wants to visit my family for the weekend and lock my door and say something about forgetting about their plans. That sounds pretty dickish, but I am not comfortable with having them in my room. It feels like a violation of privacy, and I'm not sure what to do. Would I be the asshole? I went looking through my lease, as many of you suggested, and the only things it talks about are for repairs. There is nothing about being able to come in for any other reason, so I'm not sure what that means for me. Am I wrong? So, I, 39 male, had dinner plans with my GF, 37 female. We've been living together for 2 years, been talking for 8 beforehand when I get home for work. As I pulled up, I noticed her car wasn't here. No biggie, thought she might have ran to the store right quick, so I waited a bit. I then asked her son if he spoke to her recently. He told me before walking home he had called her about 10 min before I got home to ask if he could use her Cash App card. I decided to give her a ring, nothing but voicemail. Text, nothing. The first call was around 8:45 p.m. It's now 6:45 a.m. the following day. She hasn't called or texted. None of her kids can reach her. Nobody knows where she is at all. I ended up filing a missing person report. Am I wrong for doing that? I had always asked her to call and let me know if she was going to change our dinner date and whatnot. Update. She turned up for her shift at work. Now I'm just waiting to see if she will come home or not. Am I the asshole for refusing to split a bill after my friend invited me out to a celebration dinner? Friend picked the spot, ordered appetizers and a round of drinks I didn't touch, then said we should split it even. I covered my entree and tip, wished them congrats, and left it at that. Now I'm cheap and made it awkward. I've covered extra plenty of times, just not when I was invited to celebrate them. Am I the asshole or is this fair?